The true marital status of middle-aged Chinese couples. In recent years, in China, this has been a very hot topic on internet. I roughly searched the topic online and found that many middle-aged people's marriage are like this now. From lovers change to partners. Love turns into responsibility and affection. There is little communication and no sex in daily life. Except the kids studying and the health of the elderly, they don't have anything else to talk. They don't argue, they don't fight. They don't have major conflicts. The marriage is very stable but repressed. This is a true status of many middle-aged people's marital life in China. I was actually a little shocked when I saw the discussions and comments online. I am also in a marriage. I know that every marriage has its own problems, but I didn't expect that many people's marriages were like this. Most Chinese people have a rather reserved personality, so friends seldom discussed the emotions between husband and wife. But recently I met a few friends. We talked about our recent lives, our children's studies, and this time, 2 or 3 of them all mentioned family life and marital relationships. It turns out to be exactly the same as what I saw online. The story of my best friend, Han. Last month, when the summer holiday just started, so we took our daughters, met in a shopping mall, we had a good meal, we watched movies, and like usually, she complained her husband. After married over 10 years, her husband is still like a happy bachelor. Her family situation, in fact, I know very well because they live with their parents. So Monday to Friday, they two both go to work. Her parents help them to take care of the 2 girls, sending and pick them up from school. But after work, my friend still need to do the mom's duty, mom's job. But her husband always can find an excuse to go out, like helping his friend or colleagues do something or go out, have meal with them. Then joked, my husband is just my roommate. Or even worse than a roommate. And then suddenly she mentioned they haven't had any intimate behavior for a long time since they have the second daughter. They live in the separate rooms. It's always she and her daughter live in one room. Her husband lives in another room. Even a good friend I have known for 30 years, I never expect her to suddenly say the private things to me. But at that time, I put my arm around her shoulder and I told her, your husband is not bad. He is just not fully mature. You need to find time to have a good talk with him. Let him know that both you and your daughters need him, although you have the help from both of your parents. But there are some things that you as parents must do. The second story is about my friend Lily. Her situation is quite similar with Tan. Lily and her husband had been married for around 20 years and they had 2 daughters. They don't live with their parents, but they have a housekeeper. So Monday to Friday, both of them to go to work. After work, they don't need to cook or do the housework. But as a mom, I understand they have lots of things to do. Especially Lily's two daughters has lots of training classes like the tennis, guitar, painting, English, mathematics, art, the school. So every evening and every weekend, she has to send them and pick them up. But she said her husband seems don't care the family affairs and the kids matter. If she tells her husband to do something, like today you send the kids to the dancing class, he will do. But if he doesn't say, her husband will never ask or do it on his own initiative. So Lily feels very exhausted. Why does she have to arrange for him to do something about the family and children? After 20 years of marriage, he still hasn't learned to be a husband and dad. And she said once a woman gets married and becomes a mother, she immediately assumes the roles of a wife and a mother. Men, however, can't do it. And when their second daughter was born, her husband said he couldn't sleep well, so he asked to sleep in a different room. And when their second daughter grew up, it's very hard for them to sleep in one room again. So it's been around 10 years. They haven't slept together and they don't have much to talk. Even when they talk, they don't have eye contact. So they just treat each other politely cold. Anyway, that's her words. Only when it comes the big matters about the kids and the elderly or relatives, the whole family show up together. I remembered one time, after my daughter came back from Lily's home, she asked me, "Mommy, is it normal a parent sleep in the different rooms?" Ming told me. Ming is Lily's daughter. 4 of their families live in 4 different rooms. That time I just told her every family is different. And I never thought the situation is like this, very serious. I quietly listened Lily's words and I only can say, talk to your husband. Have a good communication with him. You two got married 20 years. You have a very strong emotion between each other, and you have 2 daughters. She just said, no use. As I know, Tan and Lily's husband, both of them are the only child in the family. And from childhood to adulthood, they were only required to study and work. This is kind of very common in Chinese family. Regarding the husband's lack of concern for family affairs and children, moreover, this phenomenon has a specific term, single parent parity. In fact, it's really not all their fault. Many boys are raised in this way from childhood to adulthood. Their parents only ask them to study hard and don't need to do anything else. When they grow up, they just need to work hard. After getting married and becoming fathers, many parents of the boys, the men, still think that men are naturally not good at taking care of children and they are clumsy because they only know study and work. I have witnessed many men who have just become fathers being criticized by their parents, elders, and even wives for being clumsy and not allow them to participate in taking care of the children, like changing nappies or feeding the baby with a feeding bottle. They all been laughed and stopped. I actually think they are quite pitiful too. They have been taken good care of since childhood to becoming fathers, but they have also been deprived of many rights and obligations as a child and as fathers. So they get used to do nothing, expect studying and working. So when the children grow up and need them, they don't know how to do with it either. Of course, I am not making excuse for them. As an adult, since one has become a husband and a father, one should be aware of the responsibility of life. These are just two stories of my friends. And I have to say, not all men are like this, like their husband. There are also many men who take the initiative to share family affairs. But judging from the stories around me and online discussions, a considerable number of them are like this. There are also happy families with mutual understanding and support. I'll share the third story is one of my friend as well, Xiao Man. Xiao Man and her husband fell in love freely and have a very good relationship. They have a child and the family of three lives together. They don't live with their parents and they don't have a housekeeper. During the day, both of them go to work, taking turns to pick up and drop off the child, and also share household chores. Such a family seems perfect. But recently, she has also started to complain that her husband often works overtime, so all the matters related to the child and household affairs are handled by her. Every day after work, she picks up the kid, cooks, plays with him, read to him, and do housework, online shopping for daily things at home. All these tasks are basically done until 9 o'clock. Her husband comes back around 9, has dinner, and then goes to sleep. She understands how hard her works, but it seems that he couldn't understand her. In fact, she was even more hardworking than him, besides going to work. She was also busy with her child affairs, so she was very angry with him. When her husband made intimate demands, she always found all kinds of reasons to refuse. She is also very distressed. It's not that they don't love each other, it's just that the stress and trivial matters in life consumed too much of her energy. At night, all she wants is to have a good sleep. This kind of family structure and situation is actually not an isolated case. In my opinion, it is a very typical Chinese family. Many parents in China get off work at around 5:30, pick up their children at 6:30, and then get home to cook, take care of the children, and help them to do their homework and do housework. They are basically busy until 9 or 10 p.m. The time is almost exhausted by life, and they have almost no personal life of their own. Most people feel exhausted. If this goes on for a long time, it will definitely affect the relationship between husband and wife. This is caused by social issues. However, each family can make some choice and changes based on their own situation. As far as I know, in many Western countries, children get off school very early and their parents' working hours are flexible. Many people in the West also cook quite simply. In short, there is still a lot of time for themselves after work every day. Many Chinese people who learned this are very jealous. These three true stories are actually two very common family and marital status at present. Regarding the issue of the intimate relationship between couples, there are lots of reasons for it. This phenomenon also has specific term, low desire, intimate. The physical estrangement is actually an emotional estrangement. Perhaps various pressure from life and work have suppressed people's emotion. To solve this problem, the couple can only communicate well with each other and express their emotions and needs. This is my opinion. I am Chinese. I know this is actually not easy. Most Chinese people are not good at expressing their emotions. Our education system determines that we suppress our true feelings and needs from a young age. However, for happiness, women need to express themselves more bravely. Let go of these obsessions. Our partner must or should understand us, even if we don't say it. At last, I just want to say, these status are many middle-aged couples' real life in China. Lots of them just keep the life going on, even though they don't feel happy in the marriage, and they just refuse to communicate, to change. But not everyone is willing to live like this. There are also some people who choose to divorce, start a new life after struggle or failed communication with their partners. Desire will never disappear. It just flows to different exits. Even if there is no intimate relationship, it doesn't mean there is no love. Or perhaps love and sex are not the standard elements of marriage. Perfect love and marriage seems to only exist in TV dramas and movies. In real life, people's stories are even more complicated. Okay, that's the video for today. Welcome to Leave Your Thoughts. Bye bye. Have a good day.